Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
You think they've bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign contributions.
You said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
Last time, one of my
you
colleagues
were quoting what a Marxist in Chicago said about
her. And what evidence do you have that she's a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize to Senator Gillibrand?
Senator John Kennedy, who was one of the last honest men in Congress, laid it out perfectly that digital assets are different. They're powerful, they hold great promise, and they need real rules. Not political theater, not power grabs by unelected bureaucrats, real structure.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules.
Senator Kennedy reminded us that big tech wrote the rules of the modern internet. And what did we get? A mess. A total disaster for privacy, freedom, and basic accountability. So now we're going to let crypto insiders or activist regulators write the next chapter. No thanks.
I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be? And to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules. And frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Now, one witness, a professor of course, because only in D.C. do we call lawyers professors and act like it makes them saints, claims the SEC should set the framework, but even he admits that the SEC failed to adapt. So why give them even more power?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities. In some cases, they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it. So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
But it gets better, or worse. So enter Mr. Painter, the sanctimonious Twitter lawyer who just loves accusing people of being bought off by crypto donations. Kennedy calls him out hard, asking, "Do you think Senator Gillibrand's a crook?" And Painter? He folds. He says no, claims he didn't call anyone a crook. But then Kennedy reads his own tweets back to him. $217,000 in crypto money to Gillibrand, and a tweet saying the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. Painter gets flustered. He gets angry, starts yelling about how Kennedy's distorting his words. Then right there in the middle of a Senate hearing, he calls the senator a whack job.
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what
on
I'm
this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published
hearing.
A tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they bought her?
I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter. Last
you called
time,
one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in
and-
Chicago said
And
about
what
me.
evidence do you
Make
have
no
that she's
sense.
a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto
Do you
industry.
want to apologize
You
to
need
Senator Gillibrand?
This is where we are, America. A so-called expert witness invited to testify in front of Congress just snaps and starts name-calling like a middle school kid. It's honestly pathetic. It's dangerous. And it tells you everything you need to know about how unserious Washington has become.
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation
want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling her
You
a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are a
wasting.
majorly
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this middle school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you
part-
should apologize, Senator.
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation. I will say that Senator Smith is next. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, not so long ago,
So here's the truth. Digital assets aren't the threat. The real threat is a Congress too weak to lead, and honestly, too willing to hand over control to agencies run by ideologues. They don't fear crypto because it's dangerous. They fear it because it threatens their control. They see a decentralized system where people can transact without asking permission from the federal government. And, well, they panic. They want to regulate it, suffocate it, and ultimately dominate it. Americans must push back. Demand transparency. Demand that Congress stop outsourcing its responsibility to bureaucrats and actually do its job. Support leaders like Senator Kennedy, who aren't afraid to speak plainly and call out the nonsense. And we expose the grifters, the manipulators, and the ideologues every single time they show their face in hearings like this one. We need real oversight, clear laws, and conservative leadership that respects both innovation and the Constitution. Not bureaucratic power grabs, not name-calling academics, and not bills written by lobbyists to make more lawyers rich. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.